Welcome, YouTube world. So what you're about to watch is one of our Awakening Your Light Body activations. First, we will do a bit of education, a little bit of class work, education, consciousness work. And then the last portion of the class is the meditation and energy work for the Awakening the Light Body or activation of the light body. So we meet twice a month, once or twice a month, usually on Thursday evenings here on the East Coast, 7 p.m., East Coast US. And if you are interested, you like what we're doing here, I post a couple of these up on YouTube just to put the info out. But we are upgrading each class. So if you dig what we're doing here today, you can sign up to receive our mailing list and get on our mailing list so that you get the invitations to our weekly or monthly activation of the Light Body class. We also do starseed journeys once a month. So we're activating our galactic self and our galactic remembrance. That's another thing that we do. We offer in group on live. A lot of those do not get here on YouTube. We were guided not to put them on YouTube. They're very, very special events. So you can check those out as well. And we have a full Awakening Your Light Body course. It's a 9-month course that we offer, which is a massive spiritual journey, massive spiritual upgrade, and accelerated learning path. And it will really, really change your life. So you can get on the mailing list for that. If you want more details about that, we will send that to you. That is amazing. And I am going to be putting some YouTube videos up just talking about that full course soon. It's changed my life, and I am honored to watch it change the lives of the people that I sponsor with it. So hang on, we are getting into the class in just a few minutes and we'll get you the juicy details. We're talking about space versus form in this class, how to shift our consciousness to embrace more of the bigger picture, and also learn how to keep multiple tracks in our awareness. So our YouTube channel, Zara Starchild channel, is dedicated to giving you the tools as a light worker to be in your presence, be as a light worker, and work the tools in your life to lift your life in grace and joy and ease, and get yourself out of struggle, and also transmit this light, this love to others, and help other people out as well through your being. So thanks for joining us, and we hope you will stick around for the class and the meditation. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit today. I'm going to do some teaching for the first portion of the session. Hey, Claudia. So what I want to talk to you guys about, so today's topic is space versus form. And this is something that I've been chewing on ever since I watched this Alan Watts YouTube video a couple weeks ago, which some of you guys heard me talking about. But I'll share it with you again. I'll share the info with you guys again. But we're going to play with that with our consciousness, and we're going to play with that in the energy field. But what I want to talk to you about before we really get started is how these little tweaks to our ideas and our consciousness can make a big difference to our world and our reality. I'm going to share my screen because I pulled up some YouTube videos. So I'm going to just go here. I'm going to share my screen with you guys because this was another thing that blew my mind when I saw it. No thanks. Okay, so basic model of the solar system. This is what we were taught in grade school. We were taught that the solar system moves like this, right? That's what we were taught, right? And so this is what's the idea in our head is this is what it looks like. However, there's a new model. And when I saw this model, again, it blew my mind. I'm going to show it to you. So that's how we were taught. The sun traveling through space while the planets circle and spiral around it, also traveling through space. It's the same and yet completely different, right? All right, so do you see how that basic switch of thinking changes your reality? Like it's a bigger, like suddenly everything just got bigger, right? Suddenly we're not just sitting in space while the planets are twirling around the sun, but the sun is moving through space with all of the stars and all of the other suns and all of the planets as well. So it's just much bigger than what we imagined it to be when we got that grade school diagram way back when. So same thing when we're talking about our light body, and you guys have heard me talk about this before. My experience, and I heard Dr. Chopra, Deepak Chopra, also had a speech on this, where, like I said, my experience is the soul is not, it's not entirely true that the soul is inside of your body. The soul is partially inside of your body, but what's more true is that your physical body is inside of your soul body. And so that's what we're going to be playing with today, is the concept of space versus form. So when you look at me on your screen, you're looking at me, you're looking at the flower behind me and the crystal and the plant and this plant over here. And sometimes you'll see a car drive by outside the window. So we're talking about form. So when you're looking at me, you're focused on my body, my physical body and being, and the other physical objects in the room. I want you to switch your consciousness right now. Instead of focusing on my body, focus on the space around my body. Yeah, so just so you can see my body, but also pay attention to the space around my body. The space around our bodies, the space around the form, is a container for the form. Without the space around the form could not be. We couldn't move through space and time without the space, without the container. And this is what Alan Watts was talking about on that video. The video was called The Nature of God and Death by Alan Watts. It's on YouTube. Really awesome video. So somewhere in that video, he's talking about this. He's talking about when we look up at the sky and we see the stars and we focus on the stars in the sky, what we're not focusing on is the space between the stars, the field that's holding the stars in place, the field that, like you just saw, the sun and all the stars are actually moving through. So there's a container, a field around everything. There's space around everything, and that space is not empty space. We perceive it as empty space with our eyes. But what's in that space is it's full of richness, it's full of consciousness, it's full of the ability to transfer energy. So close your eyes for just a second. I want you to concentrate on closing your eyes and focus on the space around your body. And as you focus around the space, on the space around your body, take a deep breath in. Inhale deeply. And notice that as you do, you're inhaling the space. As you breathe in, you're drawing the space around you inside of your body. And so inside of your body, inside of your lungs, is also the space. So if we call it oxygen, we're inhaling the oxygen into our lungs, we're creating the space inside of our lungs, and our lungs then takes that oxygen and it feeds the cells. So then there's space inside of the cells. So the space around of our body is actually going into and through and around and inside of our body. It's permeating our body. Did you get that mind-blowing kind of thing going on? This space out here is alive, it's conscious, it's full, it's rich, there's lots of information. And if you play with and practice the idea that your body is inside of your soul, then this space around you is filled with the energy of your own soul and spirit. And in my experience, you can move your consciousness outside of your body into this space and into this field. And in this field, there is information, data. This information, this data that's in the field, is what we feel as empaths when we feel other people's emotions inside of us. We feel the data that's in the field, we're picking it up, sometimes through our sensory perceptions, but sometimes through our extrasensory perceptions. So as we practice today and onwards, placing our awareness into the field and into the space, what you're doing is you're going to train your brain to interpret the energetic data that's in the space. This data, so it gets bigger than this, okay? So this data that's in the space and in the space itself, let's go a little further. So we're talking about the space around our bodies, and as we breathe in, we're drawing that space into our lungs, okay? So we notice and we know now that the space around our bodies is actually inside of our bodies as well. It's permeating through us. So this space that's around our body, where does it end? It doesn't end in the walls, right? This space that's around our body is infinite. This space that's around our body is actually what connects all things. So this space that's around our bodies is also the space that's holding the stars together, that's holding the stars, that's holding the planets, right? So when we think about that video that I just showed you guys of the sun and the solar system moving through space, we're on that. We're on that. We're on that spaceship. We're on spaceship Earth moving through space. And we're moving through the stars. And everything is moving. And the space is a holder, a container for the form, which is you. But again, as you place your awareness out into the field and into the space is infinite. So when I say place your awareness, we're talking about your conscious awareness, your consciousness. Because the space is infinite and it's touching you, you're connected to it, you're connected to all of the space around you. The space around you is infinitely connected to all things. So this is where we pop into the field of oneness. We pop into the field of oneness by placing our awareness into the space the field, the container that holds everything together. Because there's no limitation here, there's no end to this space, your consciousness can travel through the space anywhere you want it to go. So I'm just going to throw this out there. We're not going to play with this tonight, but I have been practicing with time. There's a great movie called The Arrival about spaceships, and they learn how to interpret the language of the people or the entities on the spaceships. And as she unlocks the language, she unlocks the ability to travel through time. So I have been playing with this. It's been a concept that's been coming to me pretty regularly, and I've been playing with it. And I've actually played with it my whole life, my whole last couple decades anyways, in regards to placing my awareness on myself in different spaces that I know that I visited in my past, this life, but in the past. Recently, I was in Egypt last year, and I was walking through a temple in Egypt with a group of people, a group of my spiritual tribe. And I'm walking through this temple and my knees were getting all wobbly in this certain spot that I was walking. And so I asked the people that I was with, I was like, is there weird energy here? Like my knees are all wonky. And the rest of them said, no, I'm not feeling anything. Maybe that's yours. Maybe that's your thing. And so it happened again. And I went inside, I asked my guidance, I said, what is this? And I heard very clearly through my guidance, your feet are stepping on the same path that your feet have stepped on many, many times before. And as you're placing your feet on the path, you're connecting to yourself in past timelines, but also in future timelines. So it was just another kind of like mind-blowing thing that happened. So anyways, I've been playing with that. What's my point? Oh, my point. My point is that as we play with space versus form, and you start to move your consciousness out into the field, out into the space around you, which is actually your light body, your soul body, your spirit body. Your soul body, spirit body is infinite. And as you place your awareness out here and you track it back, you bring it out, you bring it back, you bring it out, you bring it back, you'll bring data from the field back into your consciousness, your conscious awareness. You're going to receive data from the future. You're going to receive premonitions about the future. You're going to be able to know what a person's energy is just from sending your awareness out to them and bringing it back. You don't even have to be in the same space. You can see somebody's picture online or talk to them on the phone. Even if you don't talk to them on the phone, you can see somebody's picture. And if you are going to go meet them and you send your energy out to them, project it out in time to where they are, you can feel what their energy is like before you get there. Because the field is infinite, and because we're all a part of the field and the field is holding us. And my energy body, which is infinite, is merging with every other person's energy body, but specifically more tangibly with the people that we're interacting with. Yeah, we're all part of the conscious collective, and we do feel the collective waves of certain things, but the more intimate connections we have with others, we feel more deeply in our field. The other thing that I wanted to share about this with you guys is that this is a learned thing. This is something that I have learned how to do. It's not something that I knew how to do when I was born. I've done these trainings, I've done these classes, I've practiced the meditations and placed my awareness out here, and I continue to develop these things. I continue to practice and play with these different kinds of systems and trainings. And as I do so, my own consciousness is expanding, awakening, more gifts, more information is coming through. So I'm sharing that with you to let you know that you can do it too. It's not just, you know, I'm not a psychic. I was never a psychic. I always had a little bit of intuition, and I always felt really, really drawn to this, what do you call this? School, this information. So I placed a lot of attention and a lot of awareness on it and a lot of curiosity with it. And over time, my abilities have grown tremendously. So I'm sharing that with you because you can also. It's not an exclusive elite thing. This is something that everybody has the ability to develop. Cool? Yeah. All right. So thanks for joining. We were talking about space versus form. And we are going to go into meditation, I think, now. Before we go into meditation, we want to encourage you guys after the meditation and over the next few weeks until we meet again to start to put your attention on the space around the forms. Like, make a conscious effort and decision to start to look at or feel into the space around the forms as if it were a tangible thing, as if it were as equally tangible as the form. Yeah, so the room that I'm sitting in, this space around me, is equally as tangible and important as the objects within it. Yeah. If you can do that, you're going to start to track. The other thing that we're going to talk about, actually, I will talk about it. The other thing we're going to meditate with today is holding multiple tracks. Because, again, this is brain training. So when you place your consciousness out into the field, you place your consciousness out into different things, you are receiving information back. It's going to take a minute, a week, maybe a year, probably not that long. Depends on how often you practice. It's going to take a little while for your brain to create the neural pathways that will allow you to interpret the energy. So one of the things that I like to talk about is if you've ever watched a toddler learn how to walk, how much concentration it takes them to place their feet and maintain their balance and keep their balance up. What's happening when a toddler is learning how to walk is they're creating a neural pathway through their brain. The intention is walking. They have to create a nerve circuit down to their feet and all the other body parts to keep them upright as they walk. So that's what you guys are doing when you're practicing this stuff. You're creating neuro pathways in your brain that will allow you to develop these gifts. It doesn't come just like that. The pathways have to be created. So don't get discouraged if you get nothing. It's not that you get nothing. The energy is coming in, but it's going to take a little while for your brain to create those pathways so that you'll begin to understand the energy and interpret the energy as something tangible, something quantifiable, say. And then The other thing is you're going to have to learn how to trust your guidance as well and move from the guidance. And a lot of that happens by not trusting it and doing the opposite. So when you're making mistakes and you're not trusting your guidance, you're learning to trust your guidance. So multiple tracks before we get into meditation, multiple tracks. Okay, everybody look at me for a second. Okay, eyes on me. You see me, you hear me. If you've got the screens open so you can see everybody in this meeting and their names. So you can see me, you can hear me. And also with your awareness, you can see the other people or their names. You might have to switch your eyes, move them around, but overall, you've got the picture that there's a whole group of people here on the thing. You're still seeing me, you're still hearing me, you're still looking at all of the screens on the screen. Now place your awareness on the space around your body. Now place your awareness on if you can hear anything outside of your room. You still see me, you still hear me, you've got the space around your body and any other audible noises. Yeah? This is multiple tracking. So you can see me, you can hear me, you can see all of the people on the screen. You got your awareness also on the space. Take note of the temperature of the air on your skin. Multiple tracking, lots of stuff going on. Yeah. At the same time, feel your shirt against your back. Feel the contact between your butt and your seat. Feel the tension of your waistband. Do you have socks on? Are they hugging your feet? Do you have bare feet? Can you also hear what's happening outside of your room? Okay, that's multiple tracking. Lots of stuff going on. You're feeling everything. Your mind is aware of all of that stuff all of the time. So your mind is aware, your body is feeling the temperature of the skin, you're hearing my voice. You have awareness of you're feeling your shirt, you're feeling your seat, you're feeling your socks and your waistband, you're feeling the hair against your face. All of this is happening. You're feeling all of it. As you place your awareness on it, you place your conscious awareness on it, you get the data. You get the data of it, but it's always there. So that's what subtle energy is like. Subtle energy is very subtle. It's in your environment. It's very subtle, and you're not going to pick it up unless you place your awareness on it. So as you place your awareness on the field around your body, you're going to start to pick up the subtle energy in your field. And your brain's going to begin to interpret what that energy means to you, if it's important. And as you grow with this practice, you're going to be able to work and function. And also your energy field will give you information and bring your awareness to something if it's important to you. Your energy field will be tracking out here, and it'll bring information to you when it's important to you. You could be eating a sandwich in a cafe, and you will get a notification through the force, through the field, that the parking meter person is coming down the street and your car is doesn't have enough change in the meter. You'll be eating the sandwich and you'll be like, oh, my meter expired. And you can go and throw some quarters in the meter just as the parking person comes down the street and you miss the ticket. That's the kind of data that the field has for you. Functional data that's important to you. That's just a minor thing. So when you're doing these really mundane things like eating a sandwich in a cafe or waiting in line at the grocery store, instead of focusing on your device, focus on the field. Place your awareness out here. What is out here? What is in the data out here? Just play with it, practice it. Okay, we're going to do it. We're going to do the meditation. And for those of you that don't know, we are going to be teaching a 8-month Awakening Your Lightbody course, which takes you step by step through these energy body centers. That teaches you how to turn on these energy body centers so that you can come back to your own soul signature frequency. So it's well and good to feel the energy in the environment, but it's more important that you stay centered in that energy in the environment. So the light body teaches you how to turn these centers on, so you can come back to them really quickly when these maybe dissonant waves that are out there move through your field. So that is probably going to happen in March. So stay tuned for that. All right, I'm going to turn off the video and we'll get into the meditation.